Princess Beatrice read an excerpt from F Scott Fitzgerald's 1925 jazz-age novel, At the Wedding of Her Sister Eugenie and Jack Brooksbank, in Windsor. Eugenie was drawn to the passage which described enigmatic Jay Gatsby's smile, and is said to capture both the theatrical quality of his character, and his charisma. The excerpt read by Maid of Honor Beatrice was chosen, as the second reading in one of only a handful of unconventional touches, for a largely traditional service. Describing Gatsby, the wealthy protagonist who dedicated his life to throwing lavish parties, it says, he smiled understandingly, much more than understandingly. It was one of those rare smiles with a quality of eternal reassurance in it, that you may come across 4 or 5 times in life. It faced, or seemed to face, the whole eternal world for an instant, and then concentrated on you with an irresistible prejudice in your favor. It understood you just as far as you wanted to be understood, believed in you as you would like to believe in yourself, and assured you that it had precisely the impression of you that, at your best, you hoped to convey. Precisely at that point it vanished, and I was looking at an elegant young roughneck, a year or 2 over 30, whose elaborate formality of speech just missed being absurd. Some time before he introduced himself I'd got a strong impression that he was picking his words with care. The passage occurs early on in the novel, as the main protagonist and narrator Nick Carraway first examines Gatsby's character and appearance. Beginning his sermon, Dean of Windsor, the Right Reverend David Connor, said, it was soon after she and Jack had first met that Princess Eugenie, read The Great Gatsby by F Scott Fitzgerald. One particular passage in Jay Gatsby is described reminded her immediately of Jack. She decided that she wanted eventually to let Jack know how much those words had brought him to mind. That is why they have had a special place in today's wedding service. The words that particularly reminded her of Jack concern Gatsby's smile. As we heard from the reading, it was one of those rare smiles with a quality of eternal reassurance in it. It concentrated on you with an irresistible prejudice in your favor. Well, a few years have passed, and Eugenie and Jack come here today to smile on each other, and to offer each other something like eternal reassurance, and the promise of an irresistible prejudice, in each other's favor. The service was led by the Dean of Windsor, with prayers led by the Most Reverend and Right Honourable John Sentamu, Archbishop of York. The organists included Peter Roper-Kurtzson, a member of the bride's family, with performances by tenor Andrea Bocelli, a friend of Sarah, Duchess of York. Music before the service included Bach's Allegro, from Trio Sonata No. 5, and Mendelssohn's Organ Sonata No. 3, in A major. After the vows, Bocelli and the orchestra performed a stunning rendition of Bach's Ave Maria. They also performed Panis Angelicus together. But the atmosphere created by one of Bocelli's performances, during the ceremony was interrupted at one point by the ringing of a mobile phone. The other reading was taken from St. Paul's letter to the Colossians chapter 3, and was read by Jack's paternal cousin, Charles Brooksbank. Other recitals included a Gaelic blessing by the choir and the hymn Love Divine, All Loves Excelling. The service ended with the national anthem and the procession of the bride and bridegroom out to one air symphonic, Op. 14 by Louise Vinn. An image of abstract art called Here by Mark Bradford was printed, on the order of service. The inclusion of the artwork was likely a nod to Eugenie's love of art and her job as a director at the Contemporary Art Gallery Hawser and Vith, in London. Earlier, bridesmaid Princess Charlotte took a tumble as she arrived before the ceremony. Accompanied by brother Prince George, 5, acting as page boy, the 3-year-old enthusiastically waved to the adoring crowds as they approached the chapel. Charlotte was not the only member of the young bridal party to struggle with the steps. Page boy Louis de Givenchy also stumbled as he entered the church.